Hey y'all, it's Deja Raven, and I'm back with another episode of Realtor Talk. And today I have Miss Andrea. And the thing that is special about her is she is like the first person I bought on here that actually legit works with commercial on the commercial side. So that's why I wanted to bring her in and kind of get her different perspective from the commercial and the residential side. So kind of Andrea, tell how long you been a realtor? Like how long have you been in the game?
Yeah. So I started selling real estate back in 2005.
Okay.
So it's been what's that, like 17 years, somewhere in there.
Experience.
And so so I started doing real estate back then, and I'm still doing it today full time.
Okay, so you've seen a lot of changes, like the ups and downs and the cycles and everything in real estate. So that's really a big thing, because a lot of people can't say that. Like, you really persevered. Like, even you was during the crash and everything, so you've still been in the game and everything. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And during that time, it wasn't it wasn't easy.
Yeah, no, we good. Listen, it's real life. Okay, so yeah.
So yeah, it definitely wasn't easy. But again, like you said, persevered. And we had to kind of make some changes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of times you have to go with what the market will allow, and so you have to have some moving parts, and that's exactly what I did.
Okay, so you weren't always on the commercial side when you came in the game?
Exactly. So no, I started out in residential.
Okay.
And so one of the reasons why I started out in residential was because just kind of talking to different people, and they thought that residential will be a good starting point. I've always wanted to do commercial,
mm-hmm.
But I just didn't know what steps to take. I didn't know if I was kind of ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to kind of get my feet wet and start out with residential. So eventually I decided, hey, this is something I want to do. And so I decided to do it about 3 years ago. I started doing it.
Okay. So what was that like? All right, you know what? I really want to do commercial. Like, what was that turning point and that made you decide, yeah, this is it right here?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, I've always wanted to do it. Just didn't know what the steps were. So I think about 3 years ago, commercial has always been my heart.
Okay.
I can look at different buildings. I look at opportunities when we're looking at neighborhoods, and just kind of seeing what will be a great fit for a community. And so about 3 years ago, I just said, this is something I really and truly are passionate about. I want to help individuals, who are small business owners, and helping them to get into the field. And so I kind of stepped out there. I took a big step. And I started taking some commercial classes. I had already been taking commercial classes in the past, but really just didn't do anything with it. And so a couple years ago, it was just really impressed upon me to go ahead and start taking those classes. I took the classes, started marketing, and that's where I am.
Okay, so what do you feel like has been like the difference, really like the differences you've seen with the residential versus commercial? Like, when I took the commercial class, I was like, oh, this real life math right here, like I gotta, it's not the same, like, of course, but what do you feel like the main differences are?
Okay, so one of the things, of course, definitely is that math, and so and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get in it, because I was a math major in college.
Okay.
So I did pretty good in math. But so one of the major differences is that when you're looking at a residential, more residential is more emotional, I guess I would say. Commercial, most individuals are more business minded, and so they're not necessarily looking at the emotional aspect of it. They're looking at return on investments. They're looking at how I can find a place that's going to fit the needs of my business. So it's more on a business perspective. It's more on investing. And so that, I would say, that's the most, or the largest difference between that. Again, even though people are in residential are looking for a home it's more personal, but again, with commercial, it's about business.
Okay. And then, so a lot of people say residential, like, listen, it take a time to close on something residential. It's definitely a better payoff. But so is that kind of the thing? It's longer time frame.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So with commercial, it can be longer. One of the benefits to residential is that you can probably close in about 30 days to 45 days. It's a little bit different when you're looking at commercial. So just depending on what you're doing, if it's land, if it's warehousing, depending on that, it could take a long time. And I can say for land, I'm actually working with I have a piece of property on the contract now, and I've had it listed for like 2 years. So commercial can take a longer time frame than the residential, and so that may be that's definitely a big difference. And so individuals who are coming in, they're like, okay, well, do I want to close in 30 days versus do I want to close in 2 years? And so I think that's one of the big differences, but not to say you may be able to close a little bit shorter in commercial. But again, because you're dealing with zoning problems or issues, if you have zoning issues, you're dealing with a lot of different things that you would have to get, and that's why it's taking a longer time. Your due diligence periods are a little bit longer because people are needing to, you may have to do some environmental studies, you may have to do, again, zoning. It's just a lot of different steps that you have to take in commercial than you would have to in residential. And so I think that is a big difference.
Yeah. So when I took the class, they said like find a niche, I guess, in the commercial field, because some people do like commercial leases, some people, like I said, land or warehouses. Like, do you have a specific niche that you work with in the commercial side?
Yeah, so my focus right now is land. So I focus on land. I also focus on warehousing. However, I don't fall short of assisting with leasing. And so I have assisted several individuals with leasing space in the retail aspect of it. But again, I was always told to kind of look at 3 different fields. Now, sometimes it just depends on what you would fall into. But my main focus was, again, land, warehousing, and I'm open to retail.
Awesome. So anything else you want to tell the people? Anything else special?
No, I just again, just thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate you even allowing me to interview. Of course, I was a little nervous
don't be nervous out here, because we out here, okay? Yeah. Listen, so tell the people, how can they reach out to you, especially if you are looking for the land, the warehouses, the commercial leases. Let the people know how they can get in contact with you.
Yeah, so you can contact me with my website. I have a website. It's andreashannon.net. You can also give me a call. My phone number is 404-310-4519. And you can email me at andrea.shannon@cbcmetrobrokers.com.
All right. Well, we appreciate you for coming on this episode, and we might have you back one day, because I really enjoyed this, and just the commercial side is different, and yeah, so I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
We out.
Bye.